Hello, everybody. Welcome in tonight. Hey, Wonder Picked. Yes, I am streaming tonight. I was told the painting dad not streaming on Father's Day is kind of an oxymoron or something. So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna paint, and I am going to continue working on these little heavy weapons for the heavy weapons squad. So yeah, I'm just gonna start by highlighting gray on all these. Hey, Misfit, what's going on? I do have some minis I want to show you guys. I'll show them to you in a little bit. Let some more people get in here so I don't have to keep showing off the same stuff over and over, but yeah, just taking the bright neutral gray. I'm just gonna be doing highlights. How's everyone's weekend been? We had a crazy busy weekend, seeing family and such. I have a feeling that's going to be this summer in a nutshell, so not like I can get away from it. Okay, play D&D in person instead of online. Oh, that's cool. That's the only way. I tried playing D&D online when it was all COVID stuff going on and did not like it. I was bored to tears, honestly. Like, it was so boring. So yeah, I got into a group. It was a group of friends that I played tabletop games with, like war games and stuff, and they went to do a D&D group. I was like, man, it sounds like fun. And what ended up happening was we all made our characters, and I made my character, and I was super proud of my character. It was gonna be super fun. And then someone else made a character that was almost exactly like my character, but better, and like all his things. And so it was really lame. Where I would like go to do something, and he would just like do it better. Um, so I like had like no place in the group, which was super boring too. But then it was just yeah, it was. I was trying so hard just to like leave. I didn't. The group kind of fell apart after a couple of sessions, but I wasn't too upset. Yeah, I had I made a dwarf cleric, and I can't remember the exact name. It was in like it was like 5e or whatever, but I made his religion. It's like weapon smithing and stuff is like his religion. This is also like 20 like early 2020, and you know the Mandalorian, like, you know, weapons are my religion or whatever. But I was like, it'd be cool. I'd be like a blacksmith, and you know, kind of like a Warhammer dwarf, where you know I like strike runes and like make cool magic weapons and make cool things to like help everybody and stuff. And that'd be like my shtick. And another guy showed up, and he made a dwarf artificer, which is just like a guy that makes things but like technologically. And so I'd be like, yeah, cool, I have my like runic hammer that I blessed and made for myself. And he's like, I charge up my gloves with electricity and like kill things in a punch. And I was like, okay. Which, you know, I'm sure there are fun angles to go about with making it a funny story about how, you know, old ways and new ways, or like, you know, I think I'm so good, but then like this guy just comes and like takes over, whatever. Like, you can run with that. That's fine. But, you know, I honestly wanted to play because I wanted to like level up a character and go smash things. And I felt like the way the DM ran the campaign was very much like, let's go smash things, and we were all cool with that. But then it was just like, I can't smash anything and I'm useless because this guy. Oh, you're asking Artificer your favorite class? Yeah, It's very telling. I have a bad opinion of Artificers at this point because of that experience. It's a long way out of the city, making meetups hard. Yeah, okay. Well, there's only 2 players. Yeah, it's kind of hard to overshadow people. I feel like there's a little more communication when you have fewer players like that. Painting 10 of these las cannons is going to take a while. Okay. The one with that base color. Hey, Killicam, what's going on, man? Oh man. All right, you guys. Do you guys want to see some of the minis I've finished up? I'll show you. I finished up Kurz. I'll show you guys Kurz if you want to see him. I think a Bard Artificer multi-class. Oh, that's cool. Just got back in town. Nice. I gotta print minis for you. I printed some minis for my son last weekend, and because he's been like dying to paint some Space Marines with me, and I was like, sure. It's like I got the printer back up and running, and I printed some minis, and then like the day after, it was like the evening after I finished print, I ran like 4 prints for those minis, and I felt like garbage. Like I had crazy like sinus things and stuff. And I was all paranoid that it was like the resin printer and the isopropyl or something that was like messing with me. So I've been scared to print. I have things to print for people, but I was just really nervous. I ordered a new filter for my respirator, and I adjusted it to make sure it fit better. But yeah, I'll get it for you. I'll try to get some prints going this week. Yeah, let me get Kurz out here. Okay. So I finished Kurz. You guys have seen his, he's like magnetized onto his base and everything, but I'll show him to you. Hopefully the camera does him justice. I'm really happy with how he turned out. So here is Konrad Kurz. With a lot of blood stains. Or blood pools, actually. Like this guy. This guy is super messed up. It's not coming across super well, but the I used the was it Dark Crimson from Procryl? I watered it down a bit, and it made such a good like wet blood look. It was perfect for like this guy, and have like, I was happy. Got the blood like running down, and it's dripping down onto the sand, and I put a little bit of like blood spatter around, so it's like subtle. I didn't want to like go too crazy with it. Yeah, I'll take it apart. So that comes right off, and then he has to like kind of wedge out here. There we go. He's one of the easier ones to take apart, honestly. But yeah, we got Kurz. I'm gonna get a nice like a video, like a rotate video of him, and then we'll I'll pass him off to Zendral. We're gonna play a game of Heresy this coming weekend, and we're gonna be using Primarchs. So he'll get to put Kurz on the table, I'll get to put Magnus on the table, and I am probably gonna get slaughtered. Because Magnus is terrible, and the fact that Kurz makes all my leadership go down means I can't even do psychic powers for my army. So, okay. So he goes in. Squeaking sound. All right, he goes in like that. This magnetizes Up right there. So there we go. Pretty wild, pretty cool. So I painted this guy, and then today, if you guys saw on Discord, I'll show you. I was really happy with these minis. Let me put him back real quick. Uh, so I printed these minis for my son last weekend, and I printed him some salamanders and Mark IV armor. There's some simple Space Marine prints. I had 9 guys with a bolter and a sergeant. I gave a power fist and a plasma pistol, and he's got like cool extra helmet and stuff. I assembled him the other day. Hey, Hobby ADHD, what's up, man? And this is Hobby ADHD is the one I gotta thank for this color scheme. I this morning, or it was actually this afternoon maybe, I primed and base coated these minis. So I primed them in black brown and then base coated them with this color, which is Vallejo Game Color Goblin Green. And yes, it is very much like the old Goblin Green, the old GW or Citadel Goblin Green. So this was on the advice of Hobby. If you guys have seen Hobby ADHD's salamanders that he's posted some, I fell in love with it and he sent me his recipe, so it's great. It's perfect. Yeah, I got unique salamander shoulder pads. The shoulder pads trim doesn't match. Ignore that. Ignore it. But I primed him this morning. About an hour later, we came down. My son and I came down and we went through test paint schemes. And there were 2 things I was going to test. My main kind of concern with this, with Hobby ADHD's paint scheme, is he used Noosh, which is awesome. He used it was Noosh and warm brown, so like this stuff, and it was this color, and he makes this really fantastic wash that he puts over the green, and then he wipes it off, and then does like a dry brush over it, and it looks awesome. I was a little concerned because I want the painting son to be able to paint these minis, and Noosh has a couple things that are just kind of annoying, and like a really long dry time, like wiping the paint off minis is an issue, like it's just a whole different skill, and I want him to be like painting the minis. So I had two alternatives. Man, I did a really bad job getting the supports off this one, but we had two alternatives. I decided to try Petroleum Brown Wash, which is a new wash from Atomic Mass, or not Atomic Mass, oh my gosh, might as well be Atomic Mass, Monument, or this brown gray wash. This one looks a lot like warm brown with Noosh. Looks a lot like it, a very warm brown. It's a pretty strong wash too, which is really cool. This is much more similar to like an Agrax Earthshade, maybe a little darker. But these are the 2 colors. I picked 2 minis, I washed them, and then I dry brushed the Goblin Green back over the green on the minis, and then I went from there. And the end results, and this was just me painting today. The rest are for the painting son to paint, but these ones I painted just so, and he watched me. He was very attentive watching me just to figure out like the color scheme and stuff. So this one, that's kind of far out. I'll zoom in for these, but not for curves, guys. All right. So this was my paint job for, this was the Petroleum Brown wash. You see it's a little bit warmer, a little bit brighter, and then this is the brown gray, and you can kind of see like subtle differences. So this guy's just a little cooler looking, a little darker. This guy's a lot warmer and brighter. Otherwise they're the same. It's a very simple color scheme. The few things I went above and beyond on, which I don't necessarily expect the painting son to do, was I used bronze for the trim, and I followed Hobby's kind of guide, and I highlighted this with bright bronze or light bronze. And I did a little bit of highlights on like the swap into the flip tops. Do you need to keep the foam ring? You don't need to keep the foam ring. No. Hey Squirreloo, what's up? I'm doing well, how are you? But I did some highlights. I told the painting son he doesn't have to do it. It's base colors in a wash. I didn't highlight the weapon or anything, or some of the metals, but no, I ended up washing everything but the green and the eyes, so the metal and the and like the black and stuff, I guess. I washed it with brown gray again after I put the base colors on. These two were done in an hour, and I even got them varnished within that hour. So very quick to paint, basic, and it looks awesome. I love the bronze and this like the green shade here and everything, and Painting Son loves it too. So he said he is going to be painting the rest of the squad tonight, or not tonight, this week. Yeah, words. I can't think of words, but yeah, I'm really happy with the simple paint job. We gotta come up with basing. I think he wants some kind of like dark earth or something like that. We gotta figure it out, but yeah, that's the salamanders we painted. Just got Steam. Okay, cool. You get any games on there? Or what? Hey, thank you for the happy Father's Day. I appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I did post a little message in the Discord. I didn't want to at everybody with it, but I don't know if you want to read it or you know, something. Have some, I don't know, somewhat sentimental post. Yeah. So I painted those.
You have a sentimental post?
A little bit Painting Life.
I want to see it.
It's nothing too crazy, but I don't want to oversell it, guys. Don't. No, thank you, man. Happy Father's Day to you as well. Yeah, Painting Son's gonna be painting his the rest of the squad. He said this week. We'll see if we have time to get him done this week, but this was us testing color schemes. And then I told him he finishes those, I'll print him his next batch. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Going down on Tuesday. It's his birthday, and he prefers I bother him on that day instead of Father's Day? Okay, alright. Dang. Stern Europeans. Oh, I gotta brag about myself a little bit here. I guess Painting Wife can brag for me because she's playing video games behind me. But I made a pretty bomb dinner, so I was quite proud of it.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Yep. So, Painting Wife asked what I wanted for dinner. I am normally the one that cooks in our house. If you don't know that. So it's basically, what do you want to cook for dinner? It's what she was asking me.
Yeah, basically.
But I wanted ribs, like spare ribs, like barbecue ribs. And we had them like in the freezer from like a meat shopping previous trip or whatever. So it's like, yeah, like let's do ribs. Let's do ribs for Father's Day. Well, one of the big things about eating ribs is having barbecue sauce. And a lot of barbecue sauce has garlic. Painting Wife can't eat garlic. So I decided last week that I was going to find a recipe for barbecue sauce and make my own. So I don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about like having garlic in it, and you know, we had to buy something weird from the store that's like, I don't know, but you know, he's looking great. Record a video, but stop. Oh, cool. Thank you, Squirrel Loot. I appreciate it, and thanks for saying hi and the well wishes. I appreciate it. So yeah, I made ribs. I put them in the oven. Like, I cooked them low and slow in the oven, and then I put them on the grill afterwards. And I made this barbecue sauce, and guys, this barbecue sauce was insane. You know, it was a recipe from the internet. But it may have been some of the best barbecue sauce I've ever had, And I think those are probably the best ribs I've ever had. Something by Kami started talking about. Yeah, yeah. It was not Carolina barbecue sauce. It was like a red sauce barbecue sauce. But you know it's ribs, so happy Father's Day to you as well, Spilled Paint Pot. Thank you, man. But yeah, I was just talking about how I made ribs for dinner this evening, and I made a barbecue sauce so my wife could have barbecue sauce with her ribs. And yeah, it was pretty insane. Painting Son helped me make it, and then he refused to try it after he helped me make it because there was a lot of ketchup to start a barbecue sauce. At least this recipe. My one gripe, it was way too sweet. But I may adjust the sweetness a little bit next time I make it. But I think I'm just gonna make barbecue sauce from now on. It was really easy. And I'm also pretty sure no matter where people are from, when I tell them what I used in this barbecue sauce, they're probably going to think it's blasphemy. So, keep my secrets. Keep it safe. Yep, yep. Mauricio Maruri, Feliz Dia del Padre Amigo. Oh, thank you. Or, gracias. My very poor Spanish accent, or pronunciation. Peanut Wandering Pig, that's true. That's true. I know. I feel like I would insult Spilled Paint Pot if I started listing ingredients because, you know, he's from the Carolinas, and the Carolinas, they have their own barbecue thing going on. So nice. Is it? Yes. Yeah. So the red is it's a clear red paint over a metallic base. It's a Vallejo Metal Color Gold as a base, and then AK Interactive Clear Red, and then I varnish. It has a matte varnish on it at this point, just to help with paintability because it's really hard to paint over a glossy surface. And we do. However, I'm well traveled and have barbecue sauce. I only pretend to judge. Yeah. I know. I can't believe I offered you a barbecue chain here as a restaurant recommendation. Shameful. In Texas, favorite sauces from Arkansas. Okay, okay. I won't tell anybody. I know the Texans, I think, are the most serious about their barbecue. So. Lord Cacophonous. Man, it looks so cool. The Lord Cacophonous. It's oh man. The glow in the dark paint, like the fluorescent paint, is so perfect. It's like the little secret, right? How are you guys doing? How's your weekend? I mean, it is gimmicky, but you know what? It's a Emperor's Children, and what is this hobby without gimmicks? You know, when your gimmick is that cool, it's allowed to happen. We uh we spent yesterday evening. Yesterday was a crazy day. Darkest Box with a small FOGS. Oh man, had full retail. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, full retail's a little rough, but yeah, it's such a good box. That Age of Darkness box is so good. Um, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, we had we had some family over, and it's my wife's two nieces who are both adults, and one of the nieces' fiancés, and they're getting married next month. And I have met him once. These young kids, um, and he's just a huge nerd. He's like a huge board game nerd. So it's it's like, man, we're gonna get along real well. So we had him over for like dinner and a board game night, and it was a blast. Uh, we ended up playing this really crazy board game I've had forever and I've only played once. And my wife and we both played it like 10 years ago, and we're like, we promise everybody this game's really fun, and it's just like pure complicated. Uh, but it's a blast, and I hope we play again. The fiance said he really enjoyed the game, he loved it and everything, so that gives me hope we playing it again. But it was it's fun. The game we played is called Mare Nostrum by Academy Games. And it is a game that's basically a empire building game-esque, set in the Mediterranean in the ancient world. But it's not like quite historical. Because you'll play like one person plays Babylon with Hammurabi, and the other person will play like Cleopatra in Egypt. So, you know, there's that, and you like build and trade and try to conquer people, and yeah, it's really cool. You get like wonders and heroes that like give your faction bonuses and stuff, and then you're trying to like trade, and yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to win and stuff. It's really cool game. It's a very deep game. Like, you trade resources, you collect and trade resources, but there are 13 unique resources in the game that all have their own tokens. And like, one of the win conditions is basically collecting 12 unique resources, having 12 of them at once, and building like the pyramids of Giza. It's cool. My son played Rome, and he was playing fairly competently, and then he attacked me. Oh man, that kid was he was playing as the orcs again. That's what he was doing. Starting wars with everybody and stopping everyone from winning, but not furthering his own empire. He was just building armies just so he could like attack people. Glowstone of a side effect? Fluorescent paint is very nice and bright. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was. Oh my gosh, that kid was full wah. He played as the Romans. And man. Yeah, I was playing as the Greeks, and I was right next to him. And I was like, I'm just gonna, slowly expand and try to earn money. And he's like, nope, I'm putting 50 legions on your border. And I was like, why? Please don't. The Windsor. Yeah. I'm also gonna convince my my future nephew to get into Warhammer. You watch, guys. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I just want to say my son told me today that he told his friends at school that I'm on YouTube. And, and, and he told one of his friends I'm on YouTube, and then his friend comes back the next day apparently and says he couldn't find my channel. And I was like, okay. I was like, did you tell him my channel name? He's like, yeah. I was like, did you tell him it's The Painting Dad? And he's like, oh. He's like, it's The Painting Dad? And I was like, yes. I knew what it was. I knew. He's just telling his friends I'm Painting Dad or something. And, 8-year-old searching YouTube, I'm sure. Spelling might be off anyway, but... Alright, you want to talk about some more leaks? There were more leaks. This dude, this guy leaking these images, he's just trolling everybody. So I have been following the absolute dredges of society in 4chan to get these leaks. All right, and it's been miserable. But I did see this guy make a comment, and he shared some of the rules and assembly information for the models in the starter set. He refuses to share the Saturnine stuff, the Dreadnought and the Terminator armor, because he hates it. And he's like, no, it sucks. I'm not gonna post any of it because I hate it. Just like, what is this? Can we the Painting Beast or Mr. Dad? Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. The Painting Beast. That sounds so cringe. Like just trying to piggyback off of maybe Mr. Painting Beast. So, the guy is just a jerk, yeah. So, yeah, we have a lot of the rules. There is, if you guys have read the leaked rules, then there's something very specific I figured out and I want to tell you guys about. All right, so the guy posted the page with all of the Universal Special rules, and so you can look through and you can see every Universal Special rule that's in the core book. People are freaking out because there's a lot of stuff missing. A lot. And there's only, I think there's 48 special rules, USRs. In the core book for 2nd edition, there were 80. So it is pared down a lot, which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind it. It's like they consolidated a lot of rules. In a good way, not just we're streamlining, simplified, not simple. No, it's a lot of consolidating going on, which is fine. What I realized last night, I was looking, someone posted a weapon profile. They show off the profile of a disintegrator. GW did, way back, when they were first showing off the rules and stuff. And the profile of the disintegrator has a rule called overload, which is basically, it's gets hot. It's the new gets hot rule, like plasma and disintegrators have and stuff. Overload is not a rule listed in the core rulebook. And then further digging, Melta is also not listed in the core rulebook. So, although there are other weapon rules that are listed in the core rulebook, which is really strange. Yeah, I'm not sure the reasoning behind having... They did this with 2.0 too, where they had a bunch of rules in the main rulebook, and then they put a bunch of rules in the other the levers or whatever, which it's just strange. Melta should be a pretty basic rule and should be in the core book, right? Or gets hot. Every army has minis that have that rule, or weapons, but I don't know. Maybe there's more rules that the guy isn't posting yet. There's obviously a bunch he's not posting yet, but just have to wait and see. No more sweeping advance. Yep, squad wipes. Surprising. Yeah, same with the aircraft having the missions. Yeah, I really like the combat missions on the aircraft. On one hand, the aircraft thing, the only thing I don't like is how little time the aircraft are actually like present on the board. You know, like I have a Xiphon, and I love that mini. I love bringing it to every game I can just because it looks cool. It's also super good, but I love bringing that mini into the game. The fact that I'm gonna grab that mini and put it on the side of the board, and then maybe half the game, and the core rulebook is only 4 turns, so 2 turns of the game, I'm going to set that mini down, I'm going to move it, I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to move it off the board immediately after. Like, it's on the board for like 20 minutes total in the game. Which kind of stinks. I love the combat missions though. I think they're so cool, and it makes me want to Thunderhawk so bad. Like, I want to hot drop like troops on the board and then come pick them up the next turn or something, just because I can. Yeah, no sweeping advance is strange. I will say, in Spill Paintball, I think we talked about this when we played our game. That moment when I had 20 tactical marines with a chaplain and a power sword sergeant, and I got charged by 3 assault marines who killed 2 of my men. I killed nothing in return with all of those marines. I lost the combat, failed my morale, and then got swept and lost my whole squad. I think it's like avoiding that kind of stuff. So, miniatures are going to be on the board, except barring aircraft, but miniatures are going to be on the board a lot longer in the game, which will probably be the number one thing that slows the game down. Because normally in a game of Warhammer, anyone who's played any, Warhammer, 40k, fantasy, probably Age of Sigmar as well, you know that, like, by the final, like, 2 turns of the game, there's not much on the board. You make more, like, you take longer to make decisions for what you have, but overall, like, it's pretty quick at the end. Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Yeah, I like how I'm liking how the combat rules end at this point, where it's, the enemy falls back if they fall back, and they can choose to fall back if they want. You can pursue, which you just engage in other combat. If they are falling back though, that means they panic or whatever, and they're statused, which is really bad. So it can only be a downside for them if you pursue them. Or you can gun them down with like pistols and stuff, which is great. And I wonder what other weapons are going to have assault that are going to lean into that, because flamethrowers might have assault, and you might be able to just start torching the enemy with flamethrowers as they're trying to run out of combat, which would just be so cool. Raja, good evening. How are you doing? But yeah, being able just to shoot them with pistols and stuff, even if it is snapshots. Snapshots aren't as bad though. Like, I feel like snapshot at this point is like a dirty word, because snapshot effectively for a lot of people means like you're done. You're not doing anything. Snapshot's basically like not shooting. But for a ballistic skill for Space Marine, you're hitting on 5s with a snapshot. I think it's basically -2 to hit is how snapshots work. Hitting on 5s is not the end of the world. Not like hitting on 6s was. You double your hit percentage, right? So that's something to keep in mind. I like how vehicles are better and more durable. I still think we're missing big pieces of the puzzle with the whole game. Like there's a lot that the leaker for some reason he's so busy that he can't take pictures of pages. I don't know. It's his book, his stolen property that he paid for. I guess he can take the time to leak how he wishes, but just going through and doing highlights on the white here. We're getting this process started. There are some really interesting rules in the book. Yeah, still talking about heresy stuff. Yeah, there's some interesting universal special rules. There's a cool one called Vanguard, and I don't know what kind of units would get Vanguard. It's a weird rule. The rule is, it's essentially, if there's an enemy unit holding an objective and you kill that unit, you destroy that unit, you get victory points. Like just straight up victory points toward winning the mission. Which is really cool. Like having units that are just made for hunting down objective holders. Going in and out of the rules specifically just slows it down. Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to happen regardless. Hobby ADHD, like especially when you're in your first like 5 to 10 games, you know, you're reading through the rules a lot, just because there's interactions that happen that, you know, you can't expect and you have to figure out. And for better or for worse, I feel like this rulebook is worded to combat like rules lawyering, and it makes it like difficult to understand at first pass. At least for me, I have to read each rule like 2 or 3 times to like really get a grasp on what's going on in these rules. Like when a pace is slowed down by trivial stuff. Yeah, that's fair. Like rerolls. There are no rerolls in this game, guys. No rerolls. GW made a miniatures game based on rolling d6s with no rerolls. That is wild to me. I'm trying to think of a time I have played a game with no rerolls, and I can't think of it. Yeah. Shoulder on this guy is gonna be white. Good eye, yes. It'd be nice. I don't have to match up shoulder and helmet. It's just gonna be, you know, whoever gets this gun becomes the squad leader for the day. Let's see, messy. It's nice. I wanna do my heavy bolters and missile launchers. I also have plasma cannons. Speaking of plasma cannons, the new blast rules are really nice. Anybody who has fired a squad of plasma cannons or just multiples knows how tedious it is and how time consuming it is. The new blast rules, what you do, so you have a squad with blast. When you fire a blast weapon, you roll to hit. If you hit, okay, well, you place the template over, you know, as many models as you can hit, basically. You know, you do that thing. You hover the template. You agree on a number and where the template's going. Then you roll to hit. If a mini rolls a hit, like, you know, rolling against your ballistic skill, if you roll to hit, awesome, you hit. So if you have 10 dudes in a squad, you're gonna roll 10 dice. Anybody that hits, they just hit the number of minis that the template covers. Just like that. For everyone that rolls a miss, what you do is you roll a single scatter. So you will scatter, and then you'll roll. I don't know if it's 2d6 right now or d6 or something. I'm not sure. We haven't seen the scatter rolls yet. But you roll for a scatter one time, and where that lands, then you basically just multiply the number of misses you rolled by the number of hits that the scatter got, friend or foe. I gotta get his shoulder. So it's basically you place the template, you see if it hits, you scatter once, and then that's where all the misses land. So you're not rolling 10 scatter dice and figuring out 10 of those. Relater after shade. Yeah, the shoulders. I'm just gonna go around little dance through here. I don't do this much because normally I keep these shoulders red for a reason. Yeah, I like those blast rules though. It's like it cut down the clutter. Like we're still scattering. It's not it's not like 10th edition 40K. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Midnight soup cooking. Oh, nice. There you go. Wandering picked. All right. Yeah, and yeah, sleep well. And I'm sure I will see you on Tuesday then. Have a good one. Hey, Rottweiler, what's up, man? Thank you for the bits. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're just painting some Thousand Suns and talk about the new Horus Heresy stuff. Always talking about the Horus Heresy stuff. All right. First little like reapply of the layer. Dad Day activities. Oh, nice. Did you have a good day today? Happy Father's Day, by the way. Cedar Point. Oh, okay. RTT yesterday, barbecue. Holy crap! Yeah, that's a lot. Like Cedar Point in Toledo. Not from Ohio, are you? Is Rottweiler an Ohioan? Yeah, Sandusky. That's right. Yep. Toledo, Sandusky, whatever. It's a. Oh, you're in Michigan. Okay. Not saying I'm jealous, but yeah, I'm a little jealous. My wife has extended family that lives in Michigan, and it's always nice to visit them. How'd you do in the RTT? Did you take your Ultramarines, or something else? And what did you barbecue? You gotta know, I barbecued ribs today. They were the bomb. I'm gonna be very humble in saying they were the best ribs I've ever eaten in my life. This week, I know the Warhammer community site also, guys, Cathay is going up for pre-order this weekend. Oh, they look so good. Minis look so good. Took second. Oh, nice. Most stuff was bought and crazy. For Smash Burgers. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Solid, man. That sounds like a great weekend. Yeah, second in RTT is really solid too. 40K is no joke trying to win even seemingly like smaller tournaments. Not that that was a smaller tournament. I don't know how big of a tournament it was, but we had a the last time I like played 40K seriously was an RTT last summer. Yes, almost a year ago. And got really hyped for it. You know, I actually brought my Ultramarines also. And it was just a little one at my store. And, you know, my buddy Zen went to it, and we were going to have fun and, you know, see what a tournament's like for 10th edition 40K. And I did leave with kind of a bad taste in my mouth, but it was pretty wild. Like, it was basically a gaming club that has some like good like big name 40K players kind of using it as like practice is what I kind of figured out, and I didn't really like that. I used to go to like RTTs and tournaments a lot when I was younger, especially for 40K. I went to maybe like 15 years ago, and they were always like super chill, just like a lot of the other games I'll play in tournaments for, and the 40K one definitely was not chill. I met some really cool people, but yeah, wasn't the best time. It's not the end of the world. I realize 40K is not my game right now. That's kind of what I learned. Great community. We'll be around here. Yeah, Michigan's different. See, and the thing about our groups with, because I play like 6 different games, and I'm in these groups and it's always stellar people and it's always very chill. Like, you know, I play Horus Heresy. Horus Heresy is a horribly balanced game. There is no balance in 2.0 Horus Heresy. Maybe it'll change, probably not, whatever. Nobody in our local group plays with like a winning mindset. It's always about like, hey, I painted this new mini, can I bring it? You know, and like nobody brings like the powered stuff. We all kind of like have our own like unspoken house rules, and all of our games are set up via Discord, and people share lists ahead of time. And like, if someone's gonna bring a Lord of War, they always ask, you know, if it's okay, and make sure the other person prepares for it. I've done that too. When I bring something big, I always tell my opponent before they share their list. I tell them like, hey, I want to bring this. If you know, bring a counter to it, so you know you have something to play into it. Like, that's how people play Heresy in our group. Middle Earth group is a little more competitive, but it's a great group, and that's a small community. You know, there's a good group. Super heavy into it, yeah. Oh, you're in Lansing? Dang, man. Okay. So I have in-laws. All my in-laws live in East Lansing, which is not quite Lansing, but yeah. Running stuff at Adepticon. Wow, that's cool. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, the set looks good. I'm not a big fan of the Saturnine Terminators, but the 3rd edition rules are looking really good, and give me all the Mark II Marines and the turret and the characters. 20 years? Okay, I'm not familiar with the area that much. Like, you know, I go up to Michigan like every other year, so it's my limit is like East Lansing, and you know, visit family. And I did compete in the Michigan Grand Tournament one year, and it was in East Lansing. It was pretty funny. We were okay, cool, very cool. All right, yeah, so you're right there. Nice. Man, I might have to stop by and say hi or something sometime to meet at a store or something. If I'm ever up there, I'll try to keep that in mind, dude. Um, if you want, I mean, I could just be super weird, but um, yeah, I competed in the Michigan Grand Tournament. I got myself a first place trophy with that for Star Wars Armada. Um, that was the best prize support at a tournament I ever went to. It was great. I made money on that trip just by winning that tournament. It was wild, staying in a hotel and everything for 2 nights. So it was in East Lansing in 2008. Okay, okay, nice. Something to go check out. Yep. Yeah, we have our Michigan family up there. We really like our Michigan family. That's what we call them. So, wait, you owned a game store? Oh, okay, okay. Dang, that's crazy. That's cool. Yeah, that's hard though. This is the last one on this color, man. We're kind of cruising a little bit. This color takes forever. The hobby kind of ruined it, but back at it now. Gotcha, gotcha. Hmm. Yeah. As a teenager, it was always like, man, my dream's to own my own game store. And then you kind of grow up and you realize, like, it's not so much that you hang out and play games all day. It's you're working in retail. It's like if you want to work retail the rest of your life, then yeah, own a game store. Like yeah, it's retail for stuff that you like, but otherwise, like yeah, you're just working retail. Okay, I can see how that burns you out too. All right, all right, all right, all right. Here's what we're gonna do. We have our bright neutral gray. We're gonna get some bold titanium white. I'm gonna mix these two. Spot. Get a smaller brush too. Okay. Become a 50-50 mix of bold titanium or bright neutral gray. It's not quite edge highlighting yet. I'm excited for Heresy stuff. I really hope someone contacts me and wants me to paint a Cathay army for them. Because man, those minis look cool and I don't want to buy them myself. We're gonna get Zen into the old world with Cathay. That's the plan. Yeah. I saw the prices for this stuff already, and everything is pretty reasonable. Um, the only thing that seems really egregious, well, okay, some of it seems pretty egregious. The character on the Longma is what it's called, the like Pegasus dragon thing, is like $60, which I think is a little crazy for a mounted character. It's really crazy for a mounted character. The other thing is the Sky Lantern. The Sky Lantern is $160 retail. So if you're paying MSRP, $160 is crazy for that Sky Lantern. It's a massive mini, and I hope it's a big like centerpiece thing. Yeah, the long, but yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's weird to say. Yeah, $160 for the Sky Lantern. The big airship is pretty wild. I would like to see like how big it actually is before making a final judgment. But I also know that Sky Lantern is the smaller version of the aerial vehicles that Cathay have. There is another Sky Lantern-esque vehicle that has rocket launchers on it. That is pretty ridiculous. And much bigger, so who knows how much that thing's gonna cost. But what's crazy is the miniatures are priced in the same scale as the rest of the old world stuff. So those old like 30-year-old sculpts that GW's using to resell minis, the brand new Cathay stuff is the same price as all that. Look a lot better. This guy with his Hey, Sector X, thank you. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Happy Father's Day to everyone. I did put a post on Discord. I didn't want to at everybody. I try not to do that as much because there's a lot of you guys in there, so I don't want to be bothering too many people all the time. But yeah, I understand. This day isn't the easiest for everybody. It's not necessarily a good day for everybody, and I hope that regardless of your experiences in life or what you have going on, I hope today was a peaceful day, and an enjoyable day for you. So, and if you are a dad, and I hope you're able to celebrate today. It was more of a celebration and less of like a a regret situation or something. Parents are crazy, and being a parent is crazy. I am very fortunate to have a great relationship with both of my parents. Try to get started on Perturabo this week. That is going to be an interesting mini to paint. The dude is mostly just like base. Hammer. We went hammer. Purdy's got the hammer. I have to look up a guide on his mini, see if anyone has any info on it. On how to get his display base and his gameplay base to fit together, because they don't fit. Just by its very design, they don't fit together. You cannot put the gameplay base inside the display base in the slot where it fits if the display base is glued together. So it'll require magnetizing, but I need to look up like what kind of magnetizing I'll have to do on it. Let's see how much time that's going to take. That's going to all involve. All right. Next one, our 50-50 mix. Number 3. Finish this in time. I want to try to go through and do highlights with the pure white. I'll be almost done with these, honestly. There's a few like little highlight. I need to highlight the red. Just a couple little things, but I feel like that this is the big step to finish. anyone's curious about when the Heresy stuff's coming out, I think in the next 2 Sundays. I think 2 Sundays from now, I think is when there's a rumor where it's supposed to get its preview. So that means I think pre-orders on July 5th, I believe. Which would mean release 2 weeks after that. That's July 19th. Sir Strumming Fish, hello. And thank you. How are you, Sir Strumming Fish? Happy Father's Day to you if it applies. In any way, shape, or form. Alright, so good Father's Day with the kiddo. About to have some hobby time out. She's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Sounds like good Father's Day. Painted minis with my son today. We watched the next Marvel movie. Going through those, and yeah, made a good dinner. Got to chill. It was nice. A good day. What you gonna be working on, Sir Strumming Fish? So I don't know about you guys with this new edition of yes, these are Thousand Suns. Yep, these are the some heavy weapon arms that magnetize. I'll show you here in a second the progress I've made. Let me finish this one weapon, then I'll show it how it all works. Facing Riders of Rohan, all solid. Yeah, now that I finally have rules and I can play Middle Earth, I'm pretty excited. Especially with the legacy stuff. The King's Champion's still good, and the dwarves have a second army list that's really cool. Yeah, the Moria list was really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to play some Middle Earth now. Like, I've been out of it for so long. I haven't played a game of the new edition yet. I never got rule books or anything because I just wanted to play my dwarves. Okay, so we have a Space Marine with magnets, and this guy's it's okay if these, I know the magnets are gonna lose some paint a little bit. Let's make him the sergeant. So there we go. Boom. Las Cannon heavy weapon. And I have lots of other weapons, so I have missile launcher. I have all the heavy weapons is what I have. I haven't magnetized all of them, but I have all of them. So I can just kind of paint these at will and have my my squad here. So, and I'm still working on these weapons. I have 4 of them that I've gotten to this point. I have all 10 of them. Yeah, I also have the unique plasma cannons. They're Thousand Suns plasma cannons. I'm excited to do heavy bolters, so I got the little heavy bolters sitting right here. But these minis, I've had these minis and all these weapons and stuff for like a year and a half at this point, maybe 2 years, maybe closer to 2 years. Probably not 2 years, maybe a year and a half. But I could not. I wasn't able to magnetize them. The process was too difficult. The pieces were too small. I didn't have, the best tools for it. And I finally got my break when a creator on Cults made an STL for the heavy weapons arms for these sets. So once that happened, that was good. Because just edited the files. Zendro edited them for me and put magnet holes in them. So I just printed them with magnet holes. I didn't have to worry about drilling a 3mm hole in a 3.5mm diameter surface. Especially in resin, it would be horrible, but in plastic it doesn't work either. So Thousand Suns. I'm sure it's gonna happen. I'm looking forward to painting the Saturnine stuff. The Mark II are the thing I'm really excited about, because I always like having more basic infantry. But something that has me like hyped for this edition of the rules is the like primary units. And making a veteran sergeant, only having like one veteran sergeant in your army, but I want to make a veteran sergeant like look like a veteran sergeant, just completely, like jacked, like souped up mini and everything, that just looks the part of a Thousand Sun. I need to wait until I see the Thousand Suns rules and the equipment options, because I want to make him a sorcerer with a power stave. But if you can't give them power staves, then like, I gotta give them something else. Make it always count it as something else, but not as cool. If you can give them power staves, I will give them a power stave every time I take that sergeant, and I'll find a way to make it work. Cool. I was also thinking about, if you guys bear with me here, all right? I'm gonna make some assumptions, and I do it a lot now, Sir Stroming Fish. I print bits with magnet holes all the time. Yeah, Zen will edit files for me, so I can just have things magnetized, which is amazing. All right, so I'm going to make an assumption that Magnus, the Primarch, in 30k is going to be one of the best duelists. And here's my logic. Alright, and I'm going to use 2nd edition to kind of make my point here. Assuming that his rules aren't so completely different for the purpose of just making him worse. That is my whole deal. All right, so Magnus's stats in 30k at present are very middle of the road. He's average in everything, um, and like he has like his spear, and his like force spear is a force weapon. It gets up to strength 12, which is crazy and good, but it doesn't do anything against other Primarchs. You know, strength 12 with nothing else behind it doesn't really do a whole lot. Um, his big thing that he has, as far as a psyker, is he knows all of the different disciplines, the different psychic disciplines, which makes sense because it's Magnus, and he should know all the psychic disciplines. If we take that, just that, where he knows the psychic disciplines and he has a force weapon, all right, and we apply that to 3.0, I think that's a pretty reasonable take. Magnus can, provided he gets the charge, he can go into a combat with another Primarch at strength and toughness 8, which is massive for a Primarch, so a higher toughness. And then he can hit them on 2s. He can hit and wound the other Primarch on 2s because of psychic abilities, which sounds yeah, so he'll hit and wound on 2s. So what you do with that, and I don't know if these are the rules for 3.0. I know the psychic abilities, and I know what, like, to me is kind of baseline, like what can Magnus do. You know, maybe he has his own powers, maybe that's something Magnus does and doesn't like use the basic powers. I don't know, but the psychic discipline Biomancy, when you charge, or if you have a Biomancer nearby and you charge, they can use this ability, and it literally just gives the squad +2 strength and toughness. So great, Magnus goes strength and toughness 8, he charges in. All right, then you challenge someone. All right, Leman Russ wants a challenge. Cool, we can do a challenge with Leman Russ. You get your challenge and you select your gambit when you start a challenge, and there is a gambit that is a psychic ability under divination, where you can literally see your opponent's moves before they happen, and it makes you hit on a 2+. You hit them on 2s. That's the whole gambit. Magnus passes psychic powers really easily, so he can, if he can pass those two and then a force weapon check on his spear, he can just hit and wound on 2s and then be very tough to hit back. I assume he'd be very tough to hit back at toughness 8. Which to me just makes him sound like a dueling monster. You know, there could be Primarchs out there with gambits that make him even better, or he could just not have the ability to access those powers. But I think those are good. And even within the bounds of the current rules, the current rules leaks that we have as psychic powers are, you can only ever use one psychic power per turn. A unit. So that's like a whole squad. Even if Magnus is bound by that, he can still do all of this, because the divination power isn't a power; it's a gambit that you use. It doesn't even call itself a psychic power; it's just a gambit that you need to take a psychic check to use. So, my boy could be real good in challenges if I get the dice. I can see the rules writers just putting in there, like, but we hate Magnus, and just, like, nerfing him to oblivion to account for the fact that he could cast psychic powers. So they make him really bad stat-wise. And so, like, well, if he passes these 3 psychic checks, he'll be really good. So let's make him super low strength, super low toughness. You know, have bad weapon skill and everything. And then super expensive.
It's clean. It's cold. Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Hey, thank you for the hydrate. Absolutely hydrate. Alright. 3 more on this color. 3. Killed Russ in their duel on Pro. Yeah, he nearly did. Yep. And in Magnus's defense there, this was with Sisters of Silence around, and also so Magnus was like fighting, you know, against the pariah gene basically, and then what they had, Russ's wolves attacked him, and was something else attack him? Did like Wolfen or something attack him, or what was it? There's something else going on. Yeah, he wasn't trying, yeah. Yeah, I don't think Magnus wanted to kill Russ either. That was the other thing. Like, he's too human, right? I'm ready for Thousand Sun supremacy, though. No, I really don't want the Legion to be the strongest, because then it's like I have to feel bad when I play. Okay, 2 left. Yeah, because the Wolfen came out and attacked him, and he's like, these hypocrites. That's what he was thinking. They have literal warp mutants in their army that they have and that they use, but, you know, they're horrified when something bad happens to one of us. Exactly, attacked by Rune Priest. Yep. They were going after him. All the nonsense. Yeah, they are the biggest hypocrites. Yes, Sir Storming Fish. You're in the right stream if those are your opinions. Would animate the Battle of Prosper? That'd be cool. Not animated, but there is an old YouTube channel. I think it's just called the 30K channel. They used to upload battle reports in 1.0 like every week. And they stopped in 2.0. They did some of them, they stopped, and then I don't know what happened to the channel. There was a time where they dumped like 40 videos in one day. They just edited the videos and they just dropped them all in one day, and they're like, okay, we're done. But they did a Burning of Prospero campaign from 1.0, and it was great. They had gorgeous armies, like cool backdrops for the tables. It was a fantastic channel. I used to watch their battle reports all the time, even when it was just 1.0. You know, always dreaming of getting my Thousand Sons army in Heresy. Yeah, the 30K channel, I think is what it's called. Again, they're not active anymore, but they did a Burning of Prospero campaign. I think it was like 3 or 4 missions they did. It ended with a huge battle on like the gates of the like Capitol building and stuff. It was really cool. Alright, last one here for this color, and we'll try to edge highlight the white, but man, we're doing good. Might finish these soon. Very soon. We can work on the next heavy weapon. Maybe we'll just do that. Just always have a heavy weapon kind of on deck to paint until I get their like 7 weapons done. I did bolters for these guys too. I don't even know if I'm gonna bother to paint those bolters. I don't think I need to magnetize bolters. I have 50 tactical marines right now, and I'm about to get 40 more, which aren't all going to be tacticals, but I'm gonna have 60 or 70 tactical marines. I don't think I need to. I don't know. I'll have them as an option. They'll be the last thing I do. What I could do as well... Oh, I can't, never mind. I can't do that. I was going to say grab the Mark II Marines, a squad of them, and make them another heavy weapon squad, and just assemble and paint them without their shoulders. And magnetize, I can just pop these weapons, but they have extra like greaves on their arms. The Mark II Marines do, and I don't think that'll fit. So it'll just have to be another Mark VI squad I do that with if I eventually want to have 2 heavy weapon squads. Thoughts on the turret of the Saturnine box? I do wish they included a tank, but I really do like the turret. I'm a big fan of like fortifications and stuff. I think that a flat gun, a stationary anti-aircraft gun that's possibly pretty cheap, is going to be really important in the game as an area denial piece. Yeah, I can see wanting just something, whether it's like an AA, like Tarantula battery or something, but you're gonna want something that can just sit there and say no to an aircraft coming on the board. And that thing looks like it has a Marine inside, so I'm gonna assume it's ballistic skill 4. And the way aircraft work, they don't suffer statuses, they just take a hull point if they get a glance. You're gonna shoot Xiphons out of the sky every turn if they come on the board. So that to me seems like a really strong piece. You know, obviously it's like a risk and reward. Like you got to decide if you're going to like if they don't come on, if jets aren't on the board, then I'm sure the value is going to be limited. But you can always overwatch an objective or 2 or something. You know, put it in a good spot to where it's going to shoot. A double with like the quad accelerator cannon is pretty good. In 2nd edition, that'd be good. I like my my Sicarans though, my big auto cannons. They either do a ton of work or they do almost nothing. They're fun. You throw tons of dice. At current rules, that's like 16 dice you're throwing from an auto cannon, which is really good. And if it has heavy rules, like, you're getting the heavy bonus all the time because it's not moving. I don't know. I like fortifications and stuff. So, yeah, it seems like a good idea to have something. Whether it's um, like an interceptor of your own, excuse me, or, a turret you put on the ground. Either way, you're going to be making intercept reactions. And how do aircraft in Heresy? Just do a bombing run each turn. So in 3rd edition, yes, it's very much like Legions Imperialis. You roll for them to come in on reserves. If they come in, you pick a mission for them, a combat mission maybe. I think it might be a combat mission is what they're called. They come in, they do that mission, and they leave by the end of your own shooting phase. The only way to shoot them down is with reactions. Either bringing a jet in with like a combat air patrol, I think is what that's called, mission reaction kind of thing, or using an intercept with anti-aircraft. Normal units can intercept them, but they're snap shooting, so you're hitting on 5s or 6s normally, or just 6s if you're immortal. But yeah, that's how they work in the new edition. That's how aircraft are going to work. But yeah, if instead of having that turret, they put a Predator in the box, like, I would have been happy about that. Then again, I can't see myself ever deciding to buy the turret, which is probably why they put that in the box. We got spoiled with the Age of Darkness box. That box is everything someone could want, unless you're like really picky about armor marks. And you're like, man, I hate Mark 6. And then you don't want the Age of Darkness box. But otherwise, that box is perfect. It's so generic and like good. Like, everything in that box is good. And this one we have no idea. But it's a lot more like specialized. You obviously have a whole ton of just basic infantry, but yeah, the turret, turret and a big heavy dreadnought and big heavy terminators is a little more niche. Yeah, aircraft are really cool. So you can actually come out, you can bring in a transport, and you can extract minis during a game, which is crazy to me to think about doing that. That's really cool. It makes me want a Thunderhawk. Just want a Thunderhawk. That's all I want. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't care for Mark 6 until I bought the minis, and now I love them. And I mean, I have 60, 70, 80 of them. 80 or so minis at this Mark 6 minis. I'm happy to get different marks. I'm more than happy to move on. I have some of the other marks from different minis, but I have a bunch of Mark 4 and I have just a few Mark 3. I don't like Mark 3. That's my least favorite, is the Mark 3. But I didn't care for Mark 2 until I saw the plastics. And I really like these Mark 2 Marines. So I am really excited to get these and to mess with them and to paint a whole bunch. Yeah, I print a lot too. So I don't print Mark 6 for myself, but I'll print Mark 4 is my usual because I like Mark 4. Oh man, guys, I think this is it for the evening. So we made a lot of progress. Didn't seem like much, but putting the highlights on here, I do have to do the edge highlights of white. I have to edge highlight the reds with some yellow, some white gold, and then the silver I'm going to touch up and highlight, and then just a little bit of weathering and maybe getting some inner joint areas. We'll try to find some areas where I need to get some dark grays. But yeah, the Sleepy Dad is right. But other than that, like these are going to look really good. They're going to be done. I'm not putting transfers on these shoulders because there's no way of doing that that's going to look any good. So we're going to have to let that go. But yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. I will be back on streaming Tuesday. I'm hoping to have Perturabo ready to paint. And I'm going to try to hammer out that mini this week. So we're going to see if we can do that. Just Primarchs, apparently. But with that, you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll still do Patreon Hangout this week on Wednesday. So if you're a paid Patreon member, we'll do our chat or Hangout. It'll be a good time. But and I have some news for Patreon members and some stuff. So be looking for a post as well. But you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Good night, everybody.